Pokemon leaks, one of those things that just kind of happens. Nowadays, we mostly see text-based threads posted in online forums, but there have been some absolutely insane leaks in the past, like the final evolutions of the Pokemon Sun and Moon starters. This is the timeline of those events. So once we were finally introduced to the actual starter Pokemon in a trailer posted on May 10th, 2016, Rowlet, Litten, and Popplio immediately captured the hearts and imaginations of fans. As this was the time following the famous fake leak I discussed in a previous video, several people conceived their own evolutions for the starter Pokemon and attempted to recreate that success. Most of them failed. For sure, it was an interesting era of internet users discussing anything with the slightest bit of credibility, regardless of the fact that nearly everybody was duped only a few weeks ago. By the time there was a substantial leak, most people had been burnt out by the fakes. It's a little hard to tell when exactly these were first posted online because the original post had since been deleted, and major coverage of them didn't pick up until July. So this would place us around June of 2016. This was a form of Pokemon leak we hadn't seen too much of before this point. Full-on concept art depicting Decidueye, Incineroar, and Primarina, with details about their biology, personalities, as well as how they interact with others. Of course, at that time, things like their names and typings weren't yet known. They were called things like Robinroot or Beltigray by the fans. But the general consensus was that the owl looked cool, the tiger better not be a fighting type, and the sea lion looks way too feminine to actually be Popplio's evolution. For the most part, it was thrown into the pile of the other fake leaks. That is until July 7th, 2016. The Pokemon YouTube channel uploaded a short video showcasing the new Pokemon, Salandit, a fire and poison type. It was pretty cool, but a few internet users could have sworn they had seen that unique type combination somewhere before. Sometime before this point, another user from a Chinese source, again it's difficult to find the specific details, had created a post listing details of Pokemon Sun and Moon. This was translated and better archived on Smogon forums on July 8th. Users Cresselia and Level 51 translated and gave additional commentary. The most notable things listed were that Alola had no gyms, there was a fire and poison type Pokemon, and the final evolutions of the starters would be an archer, a wrestler, and a siren. Those descriptions of the starter evolutions lined up with the concept art, and now that Salandit had been officially revealed as the fire and poison type, both the concept art and the Chinese post gained some credibility. The next update would come on August 1st, 2016, when the Pokemon YouTube channel uploaded another trailer that introduced us to a handful of the trial captains that would be appearing in Sun and Moon. Immediately, that corroborated both of the aforementioned leaks. With there being trial captains, it was confirmed that these games would not have the traditional Pokemon League with gyms. We were also shown the character Mallow, who, while she had a great design, looked a little familiar. Looking back at the original concept art leak, you can zoom into one of the doodles and notice Incineroar next to Ash, as well as a girl who is now obviously Mallow. The absolute revelation that this trailer brought, Mallow had been here the entire time, and only now was everything starting to make sense. This was the point the concept art had really gained some traction, especially because no artist had come forward to claim it. While the discussion continued and more trailers were uploaded, there was nothing too specific that would further contribute to the concept art until October 4th, 2016, when we were given another trailer. This one debuting the middle stage evolutions of the starter Pokemon. They seem like some basic evolutions of the smaller forms and could believably further evolve into anything else, but the most interesting of the three was Brione. One of the major reasons the original concept art was discredited was that it was a little too hard to comprehend how Popplio would eventually evolve into Primarina, but now we were given the missing link, the perfect middle ground between the two Pokemon. October 16th, 2016. Tumblr user Christopher Perez shares a very interesting story with the following image attached. The entire Tumblr post is actually amazing and absolutely worth checking out because it reads like a heist story. The basics are that Christopher and a friend happened to be in Japan studying abroad when they learned that Junichi Masuda from Game Freak would be at a signing event at the Tokyo Skytree Pokemon Center. After they're chosen through a lottery for the signing, Christopher spends the time in between drawing the supposed starter evolutions, along with the protagonist from Sun and Moon. Finally, at the front of the line, Christopher's friend meets Masuda and asks him to sign the drawing, which he does after an amused chuckle. Was this the final piece of evidence? Was Junichi Masuda just signing some art of made-up Pokemon to be nice, or did he just confirm the rumors we had been following for months? Well, we wouldn't have to wait long for an answer. October 18th, 2016. A demo is released for Pokémon Sun and Moon downloadable off of the Nintendo eShop. While this was only a demo of the game, data miners were able to break it open and find the models for every new Pokémon, and among the fresh new faces were the very Pokémon we had not been able to escape for the past few months. And finally, it was confirmed that Decidueye, Incineroar, and Primarina were in fact real. After all this time, the answers were finally in front of us. The resolution had finally come. I personally was absolutely thrilled. Later that same month, on October 27th, there would be yet another trailer that showed off the final starter evolutions, giving them an official reveal as well as their names and typings, and so marked the end of the journey. This whole ordeal was only one aspect of the Pokémon Sun and Moon leak season, which had to be the most entertaining out of any Pokémon game. The most surprising thing was that these images leaked onto the internet way earlier than anything we had ever seen and probably will ever see. Taking a look back at the events from beginning to end was so interesting, mostly seeing how many different branches of the Pokémon community came together to not only discuss these leaks, but contribute to the ongoing investigation. Normally I don't like when things like this would leak before the release date of the games, but when it happened so early, it made it easy enough to dismiss as fake, but super interesting to follow as more and more pieces of the mystery were uncovered. Part of me almost wants it to happen again. But let me know if you remember seeing any of this unfold and whether you were convinced the concept art was real. And so that has been the story of Pokémon Sun and Moon's starter leak. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, especially the Great Gators, Brandon Mork, Cheeseburger Lasers, Gavnuts, Justin R, Cosmo Zero, Michaela, Quago, Volity, and Pastel Blood. If you would like to support, get your name shouted out here, as well as access to emotes for comments and live streams, as well as early videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter as well for more memes, but anyway, this has been GatorX. I'll catch you all later.
You can discover new Pokémon and explore a world beyond your own in Pokémon Sun and Pokémon Moon on Nintendo 3DS. Games rated everyone.